Hi everyone. So by now we understood that why understanding our emotions are important, how is the conditioning done to them, and why accepting our emotions is also very important. So let's talk about something related to changing beliefs. Imagine your belief is like a tabletop, and the evidence that supports your belief is the table legs. You look at the evidence and make a conclusion. You reach a conclusion after looking all the evidence, a belief about it. Okay, that's the kind of a conclusion for you. So just like a table, if you knock enough legs out from under it, the belief will collapse. You do this by creating doubt about your evidence or looking at them in a different way. So, what you have to do is that whatever evidences that you have about your conclusion, which is your belief, you need to look at them in a different way. Then only the collapse of your belief will happen. Unwanted beliefs that make you doubt your own dreams. You can use the same method to build a new one. That's right. It can definitely work in reverse also. If you determine and understand that a belief that is more empowering, that you would prefer, you can find number of evidences that supports your new beliefs. So add at least three legs and the table will stand, right? For example, if you believe that you are bad at math, okay, and you may have several reasons for that. Maybe like it's your in genes, your mother said when you were young, and this is where the plantation of the seeds happen. Now imagine that you are in fifth grade. You got a math answer wrong, whatever was asked by a teacher. And then it was so embarrassing. And it reinforced that belief that, yes, I guess that's right. I guess mom was right. It's in genes, and I'm not good at maths. And then imagine you failed at last, in one or the two tests you took in one of the class, maybe in algebra, trigonometry. So, how you felt about it? Now the belief is stuck. But believing that you are bad at maths will hold you back. Just because you expect to do it poorly, you will be more nervous. Ever since you will be asked to do any maths test, you are asked to do any maths questions, you will be less likely to try harder or practice since you believe that you are unable to do the maths test. Since you will unintentionally prove yourself correct that yes, I am bad at maths. This is called self fulfilling prophecy. In the end, you will avoid things that you might have enjoyed simply because you expect they will involve maths and you don't want to do it because you think you are bad at it. Whenever we hold limiting beliefs, they hold us back from our true potential. The good news is, even more strongly held beliefs that hold up, overall belief can be undone. The key to the question is that the evidence we use to support it, remove the super glue, and find a new empowering belief to replace it. Before we begin, it's important to understand that when we are talking about limiting beliefs, we are not saying that the belief is false. It may be true or based on certain things that really happen, but whether it is true or false, it's not the point. We are looking at the beliefs that are either empowering or disempowering. They are either harmful or helpful. So we will just discuss about some steps to change the limiting beliefs. First step is identify a limiting belief that you want to change. Make a list of all the things you can think of that provide certain evidences to that. Remember, we spoke about the table legs. So, all the evidences that support your belief maybe two to three, just list them down. Now identify an alternating belief that is more empowering. If you are having a hard time identifying an empowering belief, ask yourself, what if I believed the opposite? You want to choose a new belief that is believable. So instead, look for an improved belief so that there is always an opportunity to improve further. Sometimes we become so emotionally attached to our limiting beliefs, we feel that we are experiencing any kind of, benefits, emotional benefits, which are paying our limitations around, which make them us stick to our limiting beliefs. It is like the super gluing table legs to the floor. So ask yourself, what is the emotional payoff for holding on to this belief? Be honest with yourself. Write down everything you can think of, and that may be emotional or any kind of practical benefit. After this, what you have to do is ask yourself, do these beliefs benefit outweigh the cost of keeping this limitation? If your answer is yes, that the emotional payoff is worth it, then you will most likely not be able to change this limiting belief because you are too attached to it. If your answer is no, then the payoff is not worth continuing to be attached to that limiting belief. Then it's time to celebrate because you have just dissolved the super glue. You actually want to change. And that means it's time to start dismantling that table. Now, the next step, you create doubt by reframing your evidence. Like we said, you believe what you believe because you look at the evidence and come to a conclusion. But what if the evidence was wrong, incomplete, and you were just not seeing it clearly? That would make you question your conclusion or your belief. And that's exactly the step is. For each piece of evidence that you hold about your belief, identify the limiting belief. Ask yourself, can this be untrue? Can my evidences be untrue? So start exploring the alternative explanations. The point is to question the evidence enough to create that doubt. Some evidence will be harder to refute than others, but that's okay as long as you can knock out enough to have at least less than three legs standing for that table. So find evidence to support your new belief that you have just thought of. Now you are going to flip this around and build up the supporting evidence to solidify your new belief. Looking back at your desired belief, make a list of everything you can think of that supports this new belief. You only need a minimum of three, but you may want to create as much as possible because the old belief is much stronger. So you need to replace it with the new belief with the as much evidence that's possible. With enough supporting legs, your new belief will stand. It might not be as strong as your old belief at first, but it's okay. In many cases, the table legs that held up the old belief may have been really, really thick or really super glued because of the emotions tied to them. When thinking about evidence for your new belief, it may be very hard initially to find them, and especially finding any emotionally charged evidence. So you want to think of as much as you can find the evidence. The number of the evidences will make up for the less evidences. So now you have done it. You have found enormously number of evidences for your new belief. You change your limiting belief and replace your old belief with some new empowering belief. But that doesn't mean the old limiting thoughts won't come back again. You may need to remind yourself on this new belief every time, or even you can read it yourself, all these beliefs, the new empowering belief regularly, kind of affirming yourself. But through repetition, you will be able to banish that limiting belief with, for sure, with that new empowering belief.